What's up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining me here again for another Breaking Bad episode. Super excited for today, as I always am, because I'm loving this show and really enjoying the progression of the story and the characters, and just can't wait to see where it goes next. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the ride with me so far, and it's hard to believe that there's only 4 more episodes left in the second season, and I'm guessing that something is going to happen major in these last couple of episodes, although the end of last episode definitely suggests that things are starting to become right with everybody again. Obviously, Walter and Jesse had a massive cook session, and despite all the issues they had, they still are going to make out with over $600,000 each, and so that will definitely be a huge benefit for them. Walter's cancer is in remission, and he's starting to see light at the end of the dark tunnel with his issues, so hopefully they can start to kind of fully treat that, maybe even get rid of it. I don't know what to expect though, but obviously he's not completely out of the woods because he still has the issue with either his esophagus or whatever tissue damage they were talking about. But it'll be interesting to see what Walter and Jesse do at this point. Obviously Jesse has to organize the selling of all the things they cooked, but for now they probably don't really have to work too much together at all. And obviously at the end of the last episode it seemed like they were ready to be apart for maybe for good. Obviously that won't be the case anymore because of the news that Walter got, but it'll be interesting to see if they meet up at all this episode. But anyway, I'm excited to get into this episode. Hopefully you guys are excited to watch me react to it. If by the end of the video you enjoyed it, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up. That helps the video reach more people, helps the channel out a lot, so I appreciate you all who do that. And as always, if you'd like to watch my full-length reaction to these episodes, definitely check out my Patreon link in the description. They always go up there early, and so if you'd like to watch those before the YouTube edits, that's definitely the place to do it. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into episode 10. Hey, I just talked about it last episode that we hadn't seen what the deal was with that bear. They've been really teasing us hard with these shots all season. That didn't look like Walter and Jesse, and those were evidence bags, so did they do something to get him caught? Nope, nope, don't you dare show me that! This freaking show, it's not gonna tell me what happened either this episode, I guarantee it. Now I know there's 2 people who die from that. I'm assuming those were bodies under there. No way it's Walter and Jesse though. Ew, nasty. What the heck's wrong with their water? Is that what the problem is going to be? Nothing related to cooking? It's like a water main or something that bursts?
I want you well for the weekend.
Mom wants a party.
It's just a little get-together, that's all. Just family and a few friends.
Sounds good.
This is nice, man. This is the first time I'm seeing them together happy for almost a whole season, it feels like. Forgot what that feeling was like for a minute. Did he hang up there, or why'd he put it down so quick?
Can you meet?
Was that Jesse he was talking to?
Actually, it's not as bad as it sounds. Fairly common occurrence, easily treated. The news is all good.
You mean like remission good?
So does that mean his reaction at the end of last episode was a reaction of like joy, just being pumped up? Also, that conversation definitely quells my fears on the other issue.
That's great, man. I mean, you know, at your stage, I didn't think that could happen. You must be so psyched.
Of course, I am.
I love seeing that genuine joy in Jesse for Walter right there. That's so cool to see.
Take our time and stay cautious. Sell off what we have. And I guess I'm done.
Oh, ho, ho, that's big news right there. I honestly wasn't expecting him to say that. I thought he was gonna want to keep going now. Feel like that's definitely for the best though. And it makes sense because Walter doesn't have to worry about not leaving his family anything anymore. Maybe that's why Walter's upset. I don't know. because in that conversation, obviously he wasn't super hyped talking to Jesse. Maybe he wishes he could still cook.
I want to also express my gratitude to two very special people. Gretchen and Elliot Schwartz, for those of you who don't know them, they're heroes.
I guess that's still kind of an issue potentially, but hopefully because of the things that happened last time, there won't be any more discussion with them.
When I got my diagnosis, I said to myself, why me? I got the good news. I said the same thing.
That's a pretty somber phrase right there to say in front of everybody. Especially the look on Skylar's face suggests that she's gonna start being suspicious of Walter again. She's gonna think he's regretting something.
I guess, yeah, poetic. It was poetic. That's the word.
Whoa, okay, Walter. Breaking in Walter Jr., bringing him into the big leagues.
Like a fish, okay? Like a drunk fish.
Walter has got something major on his mind.
But, hey,
And he's filling up Walter Jr.'s again?
kid's 16. You going for Father of the Year? What are you looking at him for? We're celebrating.
Dude, Walter looks like he's about ready to snap right now. What the heck? That's got to be major awkward for Hank, and I guess Walter Jr. as well. He's trying to drink them all into oblivion.
Think we've been bogarting this puppy long enough. Hey, bring the bottle back.
Oh my gosh, here we freaking go. What is Walter doing?
My son, my bottle, my house. Always call it a day.
The bottle. Now.
Oh my gosh, he looks so freaking menacing in that shot.
Okay.
Was that a hint of a smile right there on his face? That was an uncomfortable scene in a good way. It was a great scene, but I don't know what is going on in his mind right now. Maybe it's because he did all that meth cooking and all those shady things in order to provide for his family after he's gone. But now that he's not going to be gone, he feels just massive regret and he's just trying to overcompensate because he feels guilty about it. So he's just committing. I don't know. I'm going to need some time to think about it.
So what are you up to today? Working? Whatever that means.
No, I'm all yours.
Really?
So interesting, contrasting how different Jesse and Walter's attitudes are right now, even though they're in the same situation of not having to really cook anymore. It's almost like they've traded places from where they were at the beginning of the show. Jesse's got the good, healthy relationship. Walter's kind of got the messed up psyche.
We had a little get-together for Walt.
No, it wasn't his birthday, was it?
He's been battling cancer.
Skylar.
This dude better not try anything after hearing that. That'd be one cold-blooded move.
Then again, what about tankless?
I mean, the good ones will really run up your price, though.
It's not an issue.
Yeah, this man just made a cool 600K.
Do it myself.
That's what I like to hear.
Hide that 20 real quick. Jesse's guys have been getting the money by any means necessary, it seems.
Backwardo. He goes backwards.
Time and stuff? Like time traveling?
He just walks backwards.
He walks backwards.
I was a kid.
Oh, it wasn't recent that he was drawing them. Okay. I thought he just started doing it again after seeing her draw.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, it's your dad?
This is the new tenant.
I'm sorry, did you need something? Dad, why don't you come in? It was nice seeing you.
Oh man, that's cold, shutting him out like that. I mean, granted, it's probably not the circumstance that you'd want to introduce him to your dad, but didn't expect her to be quite that rude to him.
I owe you an apology most of all. I should have used better judgment all around. Having you drink in the first place, it was not right.
But I kept up, right? I drank 3.
Dang, man, that's kind of sad. Setting a pretty bad example there for his son. And of no fault of Walter Jr., he's just trying to impress his dad.
Hey! You want to catch a movie later?
Dang, she just comes in here like nothing happened earlier. That's not too cool.
You think I'm gonna be all like, hey, Dad, meet the stoner guy who lives next door, and by the way, I'm sleeping with him?
That's all you think you're doing?
Why do you even care about my dad?
I don't.
Oh, I don't like seeing this at all. If the one good relationship falls apart, I'm gonna be so devastated.
All right, I'm talking about us.
Us.
You and me.
Who's you and me?
No. Dang it, dude. Jane, why are you breaking Jesse's heart right now? Everything was on such a good trajectory with him and you. Hopefully it's just a small fight, though, and they'll be able to resolve it. Well, I think it's definitely certain then that the explosion, whatever happened in those open teases in the past few episodes, is caused by him working on the house.
Fungus, and it is on a rampage.
I don't really see anything.
Yeah, well, it's there. You just have to know where to look. Here.
I'm not gonna lie, I agree with Walter Jr. I don't see it either. I feel like Walter's starting to lose his mind a little bit. And I mean, I'm no doctor, but certainly that can't be good for his lungs being down there if there is fungus, even if there isn't with all the dust.
Nothing's really changed. It's just postponed. There's supposed to be a light at the end of the tunnel, but lately it just feels like
More tunnel.
That's some poetic writing right there. I absolutely love that.
For me, it was a flu. My dad rallied at the end. We were over the moon. Right then, I got sick. Great timing, huh? Why now? Being that rock takes everything you got.
Easy. I was just about to say I actually started to respect this guy. Those were some powerful words right there. But that hand grab right there suggests that he might still have ulterior motives. No, Skylar, what are you doing? Literally right before he grabbed her hand, I was about to say, oh, this guy's all right, actually. I misjudged him a little bit. They're going to start heading down a bad road as well. That's pretty dope. I'll give it to her. Maybe they can work it out. That would be excellent, because I need something to cheer for right now in this show.
Oh, damn!
Skylar, what are you doing?
No, Ted, you don't have to do that.
I don't know if that cut was supposed to be metaphorical, but that's the first thought that ran through my head. If it is intentional, that's absolutely genius.
Go to aisle 10, go green.
Are those meth supplies?
Matches. They're the wrong kind. You need to get the big 200-count box of individual matchbooks. And don't buy everything in one place.
Walter was straight up trying to find his new Jesse or something right there. Is Walter going crazy with all this stuff, trying to fix everything? Because before he was trying to like fix Jesse in a way or teach him. Now that Jesse kind of brought himself up, he couldn't teach him anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely off right there.
There he is. That's the guy.
Stay out of my territory.
Oh, okay. I see. Dang, Walter, you absolute beast. What a menace. I was intimidated right there. Oh, that's fantastic filmmaking right there. That little subtle expression by him at the end. That's such a huge moment, man. It's not about the cancer treatment or anything anymore. This man is bought in because it's the only thing he truly loves to do anymore. So I guess that interaction in the store with him was just like more of a reflex, just trying to use his knowledge there in that situation. That was a phenomenal episode. There were so many great moments throughout, because we had the interaction between Walter and Hank at the party at the very beginning, which was so tense but so well done. We have the conflict and then the resolution between Jesse and Jane, which I thought was so well done. It's amazing how much they covered with just that little arc, and it felt satisfying and complete. We had Skylar being a little flirtatious with Ted there. That's some very risky stuff right there, because with Walter's state of mind, if he were to find out about anything that went on between them, Ted is a dead man for sure. And then obviously the biggest moment of all was that revelation at the end that Walter still is in that drug dealer mindset with that interaction he had with those two guys trying to cook meth, put his foot down and squash their efforts pretty quick. I don't know if I'd say squash. They're probably going to still try and make meth, I would assume. But he's definitely wanting that control again that he felt when he and Jesse were cooking and were at kind of the top of the game in that area, being the exclusive manufacturers of the best meth. And so it's clear that he wants to go back to that. It'll be interesting to see if he goes to Jesse, if Jesse will want to go back into that as well. But it's amazing how much information is packed into that moment, and I'll try and convey all my thoughts and what I think about it. But the writing is just so well done. In a lot of shows, moments like that happen, but it's just very surface level. There's not so much deep implications and backstory, and just so much contained in just one simple phrase like that, stay off my territory. But this show packs so much information and emotional weight into the lines of dialogue. It's just phenomenally well written. Up throughout the whole show, up until that point, the cooking business seemed to be mostly about Walter trying to cover his cost for his medical bills and leaving stuff for his family after he passed away. But obviously that is not kind of what it has become. Maybe it was that way at the beginning for a little while, but it could kind of get little hints of Walter's mentality changing to more just really wanting to cook out of a desire for utilizing his knowledge and for just gaining control over something. It kind of goes way back to that conversation, I believe, way back in the first season, where Walter talks about how he never felt like he had control over his life and he never felt like he was making his own decisions. I think it was the intervention conversation, that episode. When he and Jesse were cooking, not only was Walter kind of controlling over Jesse, obviously their relationship evolved to where Jesse was more of an equal partner, but Walter had control over a business that was extremely successful. And if that's something that Walter had never had before but always wanted, I can 100% understand why he wants to go back into it, as detrimental as that may be to not only him but his family, everyone he knows, even to Jesse if he brings him along for the ride. I can still see where he's coming from, and that's just fantastic by the showrunners to be able to convey that so well. And it's kind of amazing to me, just talking about this in the post-analysis, that I can recall scenes and stuff like that so well, because normally when I watch a show, I'll remember like big events and things like that, but little conversations like that, usually I don't retain that so well. But everything in the show is so extremely impactful and memorable that I'm able to recall so much stuff like that and see how all of that plays into the ongoing story. And for that being such a rare storytelling aspect of a lot of TV shows, it's very refreshing to have that in this show. And I can definitely, I mean, it's still only not even through the second season, but I can still see why this is such a well-respected show, and no doubt it's gonna just keep getting better in quality. And stepping away from Walter's character for a second, it's also very interesting to see how quickly Jesse regresses whenever any sort of conflict happens. Obviously that thing with Jane was no small issue, and I would have been crushed as well if I was in a situation, but he immediately went back to kind of the only comfort and thing that he knew to go to, which was drugs. Obviously it seems like things are a little bit resolved now after she gave him that message, but that definitely is not suggesting anything good for his future if any sort of conflict or issue like that can set him off and set him back all the way. And I don't know if that conversation, I don't know if I included it in the YouTube edit, but when they're talking about his drawings there and how he has the one superhero who like just walks backward and that's his superpower or whatever, and she said, oh, it kind of looks like you. I don't know if that was the writers trying to say that that is who Jesse is, that he just frequently keeps regressing and walking backwards, but that's just just a thought I had. Maybe I'm off base. And it's also interesting to think about what that interaction with Hank can implicate for the future, because if he keeps having outbursts like that with Hank, and even just Hank seeing him kind of keep pouring alcohol into Walter Jr.'s cup, it's definitely going to lead Hank to being a little bit more suspicious of him. And then my worry from the past couple episodes of the trail kind of leading its way to Walter, if Hank starts to put pieces together and look hard enough. And so it's very risky for him to be having those kind of episodes in front of people, because that definitely is going to start pointing him in the right direction. And getting back to Walter's character, if he jumps back into the meth game with Jesse, what his end goal is something I don't know, because before there was kind of a finality to what they were doing. He was just going to make enough money to pay for the medical bills, leave his family something behind, and then that was it. But if there is no kind of end goal anymore, I don't see anything good happening there, because all he's going to want to do is just want more power and more success, if that's the only attainable thing for him at that point. And maybe relating it to the dialogue that Skylar had with Ted in that one conversation, how there was a light at the end of the tunnel, but now there's just tunnel, maybe that kind of relates to Walter as well. And if all these things are connected, and I'm not just making up crazy theories on my own, that's just unbelievably talented writing by these showrunners to be able to connect so much dialogue like that. But anyway, maybe that was kind of like a symbolistic way of describing Walter's character situation with cooking, is that he was kind of in this dark place cooking meth and dealing with bad people, but he was doing it for a kind of solid, respectable end goal. But now that end goal has kind of disappeared, because he's not gonna die from the cancer, seemingly, at least right now. It's just kind of turned into all dark tunnel, and his character is just gonna keep heading in a downward spiral. And if you guys are still listening, definitely thank you for watching along with me this far, because this is probably the most that I've had to discuss about an episode during my watch through of Breaking Bad so far, just because I feel like there were so many things that kind of came to a head. And in a way, this is kind of the biggest moment of the entire series so far, because obviously, as I talked about, the purpose of everything that Walter was doing so far has completely changed, and now he's just drug dealing to drug deal and to gain more power. So I cannot wait to get into the rest of these episodes. This episode particularly has made me so excited to see what happened. This completely changed the trajectory of where I thought this show might go at this point, and so I wish I could just binge watch this whole show and all the editing would just be done instantly so that we could all enjoy it super fast. But obviously that's not the case. I'll have to wait a few more days before I can watch more episodes. But hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me react to this episode as much as I enjoyed watching it. If you did, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up. That helps the channel out a lot, helps the video reach a lot more people. And if you'd like to watch these full-length reactions to the episodes that I'm watching, definitely check out my Patreon link in the description, and you'll be able to get those sooner than the YouTube edits, as well as having access to all the other full-length reactions from the stuff I watch for the channel. But I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode, and until then, peace.